authorities, its officials, and everyone that is supposed to deliver to Cameroonian people have failed to do what they are supposed to do. It is so clear with the issues you've enumerated. If prices of basic commodities are having the kind of inflationary rise, like it's having the kind of increase that is having today, it's because someone somewhere failed to do what he or she was supposed to do to make sure that things are done properly.
Yeah, so this is not only about Cameroon, it is a global issue that we are facing as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic and the war in Ukraine that has blocked the channel of supply for raw materials for the production of so many commodities that are serving as raw materials in different countries.
Mr. Lasha, I know and understand that crises in bigger countries affect smaller countries. But I also know for sure that when a government is failing to do what it ought to do, she ought to do, they will look for excuses to give to citizens in order that they might continue staying in power. I consider COVID-19 or the war in Ukraine excuses because Cameroon have all it takes to sustain its economy without depending on any foreign product. The banga bush in Cameroon is here in Littoral, is there in Southwest and some other parts of the country. What is disturbing the government to implement local production of our products without necessarily depending from those that are coming abroad? Why must we sell raw materials and the final products being resold to us? And if I may even make a comment to that, you will discover that Cameroon's products are not consumable products, are not from any of those countries that are fighting, be it Ukraine or Russia.
No, at least wheat. Wheat
because
comes from...
when we talk of wheat, which is bread is not fuel that when its price increases, it's supposed to affect all other basic commodities. Do not forget that this same year, 2022, on January, this same government imposed taxes, what they call direct stealing from citizens.
You cannot call it direct stealing.
Yes, it is from electronic wallet of students, of citizens, what they call orange money and MTN mobile money. And this amounts to very huge amount of money that government is collecting unaccounted for. If we are looking at the economy,
it was the parliamentarians, the people that you guys voted to represent you in parliament.
We didn't
who went there and debated on.
Mr. Lash, I don't think if the Popular Action Party today is saying that the question of government is a call for concern, is because the parliament as well is not playing its role to hold the government accountable, or the executive arm of the government have subdued the parliament to be submissive and powerless to even propose bills that will reflect aspiration of those who voted them, if at all it was not political negotiation for them to be there. So I am saying that the price increase is a call for concern. I wonder whether these people have human feeling or conscience as to how those local women in the market striving to survive, to feed children, to send them to school, to take care of basic needs are surviving. Because people barely eat in Cameroon. And the paradox of all this is that it is rather the larger unit of the currency that is in circulation. Everything is just so jumbled up in such a way that one cannot explain exactly why government will be taking regressive policies that is affecting the poor, the masses, the weak, the have-nots. These policies are really bad to the extent that, for me, I feel Cameroonians are so complacent and tolerant because these are things that in other countries it calls for the people to rise up to ask their government. You know, what they call sovereign will of the people requires the people to call their government to order when institutions representing the people are unable to do that, if the parliament is unable to present the worries of the people to the government, call the government to order, call the government accountable, ask the government why prices of basic necessities are increasing, then the people have to constitute themselves and do that by direct intervention as they do it when they want to vote for people. So I believe that Cameroonians have themselves to take up.
But so many people have ventured into what you are saying. They have been arrested for trying to stand up to their rights.
Well, you know, Mr. Lasha, in Cameroon, the tendency is always that people should not dare to talk. People should not dare to do something because they will be arrested, they will be molested, their voices should not be heard. But for how long would that happen? We are a country of approximately 30 million people. And Cameroon, we don't even know the last time we conducted population census. You know? And you begin to ask yourself, so we will all die of hunger, of road accidents, of lack of medical care, of this inflation that is making people to be living a miserable life in their own country, or we will gather together and tell the government that it is enough.
But 2025 is not far. Before we come to 2025, Fabrice Lena, government announced through the Minister of Finance, Louis Paul Mutazi, that she spends 600 billion each month to subsidize the prices of fuel at the level of the pumps. And the minister did say again that if the crisis around the world, both internal and external crises in the world, do not come to an end, then government may be spending 800 billion every month to subsidize the price of fuel.
What these guys are doing is a bossy explanation that do not have track.
So are you saying that the money
when they talk of government budget, Lasha, where do government budget come from? In Cameroon, 70% of government budget come from direct and indirect tax that you and I pay before the borrowing and the other sources. And the government, through the Ministry of Finance, have a budget that is voted each year through the parliament. Remember the parliamentary session that just ended this June. Some parliamentarians exposed to us what is happening in the parliament when these ministries bring a proposal. Parliamentarians do not deliberate on it, and it is simply validated.
What about the number one? What about the number one statesman who has to read through what has been validated at the level of parliament?
No, it is not even. It is not even. You know, bills come from the executive, and it also comes from the parliament. But in Cameroon, it is always from the executive. It's always coming top down. And since we are operating in a high instruction system that we do not challenge the man at the top, the first citizen, everything is just gobbles down. When you say you are subsidizing the petroleum sector, what's happening to Sonara in Libe? Why will they not revitalize Sonara? Why would they not put that money in Sonara?
600 billion is huge. It's huge.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. That's huge amount of money that you put it in Sonara, will be exporting fuel in barrels. Why would they not go and put that money there? Sonara is a shadow of itself. Or is it because it is in Libe? Or is it because it's in Southwest region? Like the Kribi deep sea port that they go and dig around when we have an original and natural deep sea port in Libe. Those are some of the things that comes to our mind when we see government having misplaced priority upon misplaced priority. Wrong decision upon wrong decision. And all these things go around to swingle money into people's pocket, like it has happened with the Can Gate of 2019, with huge amount of money meant for the construction of sports stadium not accounted for, COVID-19 funds made to fight a world pandemic not accounted for, and a Sudan law passing on to take a percentage of money that citizens put in their electronic wallet, not explained. So, how will you feel in such a country that a minister who is managing an economy with abysmal consequences? How will you explain that? It is a failure. Every Cameroonian knows that they have failed. It is woeful. It is terrible. And they should not go and say it is world pandemic, it's Ukrainian war.
Yeah,
what were you doing even before
government is already
the COVID-19?
Government is already doing something, Fabrice Lena.
What did you do
looking at
before the Ukrainian war?
Looking at local solution, President Paul Biya just pumped 10 billion francs CFA into Iran, the institute that is in charge of agricultural research, to research on wheat, and so Cameroonians can produce
Mr.
wheat
Lasha,
for flour and other.
I don't know what they mean by putting money on Iran to do research.
Yes.
Sometimes
research to come up with
yeah,
maybe,
I understand what
yes.
you're saying. I just want to say sometimes the issues of this country can make somebody to go mad. Seriously. Especially when you get up in the morning.
Are we saying that we don't have
that is what I'm
research?
Saying. That's what I'm saying. I am saying
that have been done by academicians, and we can go borrow or buy from them, come back, and then we do the production. Are they not research that have been done
that it
by people concerning wheat production in the country?
On its own. Cameroon has everything that it takes to survive on its own. 10 billion is enormous money to revamp CDC. This is CDC, CDC that was the second employer after the government. And CDC is a shadow of itself now. CDC used to employ between 25,000 to 30,000 Cameroonians. It's a shadow of itself. They are not putting money there to revamp it. They are putting money but in the research, agricultural research.
How would they put money with what is happening over there?
No! You are the cause of your own problems. Mr. Lasha, you cannot keep a knife and jump into it and complain. You are the cause of your own problem. That is the government of Cameroon. Whatever thing is happening in North and South is the government that caused it. And you should not say you cannot revamp CDC because of what is happening. Well, okay, let's keep CDC aside. What about the other regions? This is littoral. Look at the parts of CDC that are located in littoral. They said the littoral region. Look at Banga with the enormous natural resources where the late mayor, Eric Inge, was trying to protect the illegal exploitation of those minerals. You see, those are areas where we want to see government go and put billions there so that it can employ Cameroonians. It can produce output, goods and services for Cameroonians. It can add to gross domestic product of the country, and perhaps, why not national budget? You know, research institute. What even happened to the agro-pastoral tractors in the south region of Samelima, of Mvomeka and the rest, where a lot of stuffs were taken for construction of maize, corn, plantain, cassava, and the rest.
Who is to blame? President Paul Biya bargained and those machines were given. What about the people that the machines were given to them?
No, it is not about the people, Mr.
You expected
Mr.
President Paul Biya to go operate those machines in the bush?
I always say that leadership is not instructions. Leadership is lead. Set a vision. Call people to join. Follow up the vision. You cannot have a vision and then you, the flag bearer of your vision, put it to the market. You have resources for it. And then you abandon it to the hand of people that are not the one running your vision. And then you come to blame that the people who are handling it. It is you, the vision bearer, that have failed to configure your vision, that have failed to achieve your objectives. Therefore, you have failed. So, nobody should tell me that it is the people. Because this is the same song they keep saying, it is the ministers of President Paul Biya. It's not him, it's not him. Himself is a problem to himself, a problem to Cameroonians, and the reason why the country is in this state of drain, in this state of complete quagmire that we are unable as Cameroonians to explain our countries to an external citizen of this country.
Emmanuel Macron, French president, is coming to Cameroon, and there are already speculations that is coming to discuss live after Cameroon after Biya, who will take over from President Paul Biya should he not stand in 2025, and he will also be talking about the Anglophone crisis in the northwest and southwest regions. Are you comfortable as a young Cameroonian politician seeing Macron come to your country?
It is a normal thing for Macron or any other les Occidentaux president to visit Cameroon. It is now the reasons for visit that is the question mark.
No, France has always been accused of being the one.
It's not been accused. It's not
being the one giving
in
Cameroon
2016
instruction.
In 2016, when President Hollande visited Cameroon, he said it, and up to today, it is in the archives of France that they sponsored post-colonial wars in Cameroon to maintain an agenda in this country, agenda of dictatorship, which will benefit the dictator in power and France, the colonial master, neo-colonial master. You get it? Agenda of dividing the people to better rule. Agenda of subjugating, dominating, and assimilating the other people with a hard culture in order that they can maintain, sustain, and retain their goal in the country. So, we have no objection whatsoever for any president around the world, in any continent, any country, who wish to visit Cameroon, to come and visit Cameroon. We have problem but with objectives of visit. Because we are telling President Macron that, please, Cameroon is a sovereign country, and can we please enjoy our sovereignty as an independent state without us having to discuss with you about internal politics of our country in our country. When you, Macron, and Marine Le Pen had your issues in France, President Paul Biya or Bella or any minister in Cameroon or diplomat in Cameroon did not go to France to ask you questions. We didn't do that. Cooperation here is on basis of bilateral trade, on basis of what we can benefit from each other mutually, without one always trying to maneuver.
But of course, you know
the
about
mindset.
the accord signed between France and Cameroon dating like 50 years ago.
You know, if you sign an accord on behalf of an organization or a country without a referendum, without a law passed on that, it binds only you. It does not bind the people of the country.
Incarnating the institution.
No. It binds only you. A president of the republic is in as much as you have immunities. Do not forget. And that is even one of the reasons why I think President Paul Biya is afraid of resignation at this time. Because he knows that he is guilty of crimes against humanity, which is simply subjecting your people to some kind of inhumane living for a very long time, pretending you are existing in democracy, whereas the characteristics of your government is pure autocracy and other forms of governance system we cannot define by high instruction. You understand? So we are saying that whatever accord, pre-colonial, colonial or post-colonial, that whosoever president had with France engage that individual and not Cameroonians, and is not enshrined in the constitution of Cameroon anywhere that Cameroon and France have backdoor dealings or shall maintain relationship after decolonization or independence for whatsoever reason. It has not been defined anywhere, unless I'm ignorant about it. But as far as I know, we are an independent country. And
you're independent, but you go borrow money.
No,
most of the things
to
that
borrow
you
money,
do, you borrow.
France borrow money. France,
but the rate at which you borrow,
France even live on income of other countries. Every country borrow. The truth is this: We blame the leadership of Cameroon for not cutting ties with colonial masters for whatsoever reason. You are an independent country. Politics of country, it is your affair. You cooperate with others on the basis of cooperation, which is an international community interconnected of presidents, because there are organizations that lead people together. So Emmanuel Macron should not come and tell us that they are coming to come and discuss on how to continuity.
Some people are already saying that
they did not arrange for him to come in power. And that is one thing. I am saying this because I would personally like to meet President Emmanuel Macron if he comes here in Cameroon to ask him if somebody arranged for him to become the president of France. And such speculations do not come for nothing, because there has never been a speculation if Justin Trudeau...
There are clear evidence. He went to Chad, the son of...
That's what I'm saying.
He went to other countries.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that it is true that it is a court that can establish that these are the reasons why Emmanuel Macron is coming. What we are saying here are speculations, but such speculations are not always for free.
The economy too can also be another motive. We just had a deal that was sealed between Guinness Cameroon and Castel Group, and Guinness Cameroon will no longer exist. Now the 300 billion franc CFA deal sealed, and Emmanuel Macron is coming shortly after the deal was sealed, and now France is the lone monopoly when it comes to production of beer.
Lasha, I don't want to even go to the details of Emmanuel Macron's visit. All I know is that the game that Emmanuel Macron and the leadership of President Paul Biya and the Cypriot government is playing is not in favor of Cameroonians. Cameroonians for a long time have been patient to allow the leaders to come to reason and understand that they know what they are doing. We are no more in a dark age. Emmanuel Macron should not come and discuss Anglophone crisis with President of the Republic on the basis of strengthening the government for whatsoever reason. As it is speculated, it's supposed to be a state visit of a president visiting another president or a state for collaboration.
Yes,
so whatsoever reason that he is coming, we Cameroonians and we of the Popular Action Party is putting him on guard and saying, please, our country has suffered a lot. Let the future of this country or whatsoever thing that comes after as chaos not be because you visited Cameroon and make some kind of shady deals. The younger generation of Cameroonians are taking note of everything, and we are not dormant.
So how are you?
We are smart enough.
How are you just said the younger generation preparing for 2025 presidential election? Because there's going to be a transition in Cameroon.
Well,
maybe transition from one person in the CPDM, or maybe in another political party, be a young man. So how are you young people bracing up?
Well, I would say that one thing I would like to say is this. I've found out that Cameroonians, on one part, are very, very ignorant about a lot of things. Very, very ignorant about a lot of things, because in as much as the government, the party in power and its partners are preparing for continuity, Cameroonians and the opposition political parties, civil society organizations, syndicates, opinion holders are not matching up their preparations. And we need to do that.
How is this supposed to be done?
Matching up these preparations is supposed to be in the form of your own plans. You need to have strategic plans. If these people want to go by unconstitutional arrangement, there is supposed to be an ultimatum of warning that this will lead to chaos. We don't want any further chaos. The country is already in psychological and physical war. There is physical war of armed conflict in Northwest and Southwest, in extreme North, in the East, and there is psychological war in the 10 regions of this country. Because Cameroonians are having war in their mind against their government.
Why are they having war
Of
in their
course,
mind?
Mr. Lasha Kingsley, when you cannot get up and give 5,000 francs for your family to buy food that can feed the family for a day, no matter the salary you are earning, you won't be happy as a Cameroonian. That is the first place. When you go to public offices and people receive you with arrogance, when ministers and state officials cannot give accountability of money they collect from you through taxes, when the roads you are driving in are all potholes and people are dying there on daily basis for road accidents because public goods are not delivered, you won't be happy. No one is happy. Yaoundé now, go to Yaoundé and see it is smelling everywhere. It's extremely dirty. That is not normal of our country. That is not the reputation we want to give to our country. That is why we are saying we stakeholders have to prepare. We are preparing. And we know that in 2025, if the elections are supposed to be as the calendar prevails, then local elections will be for February 2025.
Okay.
And I know that the Northwest and Southwest have 37 parliamentary seats, 35 parliamentary seats, 20 in the Northwest and 15 in the Southwest, and 47 municipal councils. And the PAP is prepared to take back all these parliamentary seats
and this should be done through a peaceful way. So how are you preparing to do it in
CPDM.
A peaceful way? Because
of course,
other countries have done so without any bloodshed.
No. We are not. We have never been for violence, and we are not going to. Election is not violent. No, it's not violent.
Okay.
We are just saying that
we have barely
yes
1 minute.
We are just saying that the people in Northwest and Southwest have to know that the crisis can be a double curse if we do not have a plan A, B, C of how to involve in the transition question.
Okay.
And it would be a blessing if we are strategic enough to know that there is an existing political party that can help us to block our zones by having representatives in the parliament.
Okay.
We must not always abstain, because when we abstain, we give the power to the opposite camp to take everything, because now CPDM is controlling everywhere and the people are lamenting. We should stop lamenting and start doing something that will alternate the situation when the first proposal isn't working. So that is why we are telling the people that
they should go register massively.
Register massively.
Thank you.
We are doing that, and we are encouraging young people to engage with the Popular Action Party. We are doing a lot of workshops and training on how to galvanize this in preparation of the approaching future.
Okay,
and all the other strategies that we are
preparing time is up. Thank you.
It's available on our site, on our political program agenda that we distribute. I want to tell young people that the future of this country lies in your shoulder, in my shoulder. We have the responsibility to dare invent and create a new federal republic with constitutional democracy, limited mandate office, and competitive politics. We will lead us to peace and stability.
Fabrice Lena, Secretary General of the Popular Action Party, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lasha Kingsley. I'm always grateful to be your guest.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.